We're back. For the second race, we've reversed the top 8 from yesterday, and everyone here is getting ready for what's shaping up to be a thrilling conclusion to the weekend. As we await the start of another hugely anticipated Formula 2 race, I'm joined again by Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as a former GP2 champion, can we get some insight to what is running through these young drivers' heads as they sit out on the grid?
Ciao Alex, it's a pleasure to be here. There are nervy moments, there is no doubts about that. Mental strength is the key to remaining calm and focusing on the upcoming race. Formula 2 is so competitive, and all of these drivers knows that they are going to be pushing each other all of the way. In this sport, you have to be able to control your nerves.
Hello everyone and welcome back guys to the finale of our F2 2020 Mick Schumacher career mode. Yes, 23 races have brought us here once again back in Yas Marina to finish off the season. If you missed out yesterday's feature race, I would definitely recommend going back and checking it out. I won't lie to you, I'd argue it's the best race of the entire championship. A completely wild race nonetheless there. But as we head back to Abu Dhabi for the final race of the World Championship, 11 laps ahead of us here today. I just want to thank you guys so much for the continued support on this series as well. You know, technically it's the second championship or series we've actually finished on F1 2020. As obviously the McLaren RTG and the My Team career mode are still going on. The only one we've actually finished in its entirety was the Red Bull Cup career mode that we did with Jamie183. But yeah, back though here today. A massive thank you for all the support over the entirety of this series. I will be making a future announcement as to the future of the Mick Schumacher mode on F1 2020 as well there. But getting ready then for the final race of the World Championship. We start this one in P8. Everyone by the looks of it on a set of these soft compound tyres ready for the start of this race, but we need a nice clean start, hopefully lose as few places as possible. 5 red lights. That is a ridiculously long hold, as because of that, well, I'm going to blame that, but really it's just we were never going to get a good start. Down in towards turn 1. Holy dive bomb, Armstrong. I'm not too sure what I've just witnessed. That is the craziest turn 1 I've seen, and we've instantly got a safety car, as Armstrong went for the hero or zero move in towards the first turn, and it's completely backfired. Well, coming towards the end of lap 1 then, we did only lose the 1 spot off the start. We did get very lucky in the end there, that obviously we just able to find the room back at the inside of Armstrong. As I think he was going for I want P2, or I don't want anything at all in this World Championship there. Of course, unlike yesterday, the strategy should be pretty simple. We'll just stay out on these softs to the very end. But at the end of lap 1, though, it is going to be pretty certain Callum who leads the way. Yeah, it must be, because obviously Guan Yu Zhou started at the rear of your field. So coming to the end then of lap 3, safety car is going to be heading back to the pit lane, as the whole field have now bunched back up once more here. We need to try and get a nice, clean, tidy restart, try and get some heat into the rubber as well. Trying to get a little bit of wheel spin out there. It's just not happening at the moment. A little bit there in second gear, I must admit. When the off throttle, the wastegate on these things does always still sound incredible. I'm going to miss that at the end of this championship, but it is nearly green flag racing once again. Lundgaard being a bit cautious in towards the final corner. We might be able to capitalise on that. Not quite able to get the run this time round, but the tyres are feeling good. Off the restart, we've got Schwartzman, our teammate, right behind us as well, as we head back down in towards turn 1, and hopefully now we can start making some forward progress. Starting P9, once again, all over the back of Lundgaard, around the outside through turn 3, we'll find the room, and that was not quite a move I was expecting to make, but it is one we've pulled off, and now we're back up to where we started in 8th. Next up, Jack Aitken, as we head down in towards the chicane there. The AI, yeah, really seemed to struggle a lot through the twisty bits on this lap. We'll try and get a bit of a cutback on him on the exit, not quite able to find the momentum that time round, but hopefully we should get a big slipstream as he loses a bit of ground to Daruvala just in front of him. Yeah, you can see there we are gaining on Aitken down the back straightaway. We'll force him defensive. Can we have a look to the outside? Oh, Daruvala sort of caught in the middle of all this as he was just trying to take the corner normally. Big contact between myself and Aitken. As a bit of a miscommunication there. We have knocked the front wing ever so slightly, but that shouldn't be too bad. That still should be raceable here as we try to get a good run on the exit out onto the next straightaway here. Can we have a now look at the inside of Aitken? Make sure we don't break too late like he did on Daruvala. And we are up into 7th. That front wing damage, yeah, like I said, shouldn't cost us much, if anything at all. That 5 all over the back of Jay and Aruvula. It seems a bit weird, to be honest, with that safety car right at the start. 2 safety cars this weekend, as yeah, like I said, not been something we've had very often at all over the course of this F2 career mode. We have got a good run, though, on Jay, and as we head down the back straightaway, break just at the 150 metre board, and yeah, like I predicted, though, this front wing damage is not costing us anything at all as we get to the inside for the second part, and Aruvula has been dispatched. Callum sets a new fast lap of the Grand Prix on a 53.1. We do a 52.8, so we have definitely got some quick pace in the car at this stage of the day. Matsushita not far in front of us now, as his teammate Drogovic just a little way up the road. Now we've got some DRS in this race as well. Hopefully now we can try and look past Matsushita as we head out onto the first of the back straightaways. He has got a bit of DRS from his teammate, but nowhere near the same amount of slipstream that we've been granted there. To the outside of Matsushita, can we do the same move we pulled off a couple of times already? He'll go very, very defensive over the curbs, but again, we'll pull off the move. Yellow flags out just in the nick of time. No, that's Drogovic falling to the wayside. So we've got past both MP Motorsport cars there in just a moment as Drogovic. A horrible way to end what has been a fantastic season from the young Brazilian there, out of the Abu Dhabi sprint race, and that is heartbreaking for him. But it's meant we now move ourselves up into P4. Delatraz next up the road. Hasn't scored points all year up to yesterday, but could be on for a podium. Oh, is that Alesi into the... no, Markov even, I should say, into the pit lane? I'm very confused by that. Callum Ilott has done the same as well there. So the top 2 in this race have dived into the pits, meaning Delatraz is now your race leader as we head on to lap 7. Do they not believe these softs can do the distance? Are we seeing another weird strategy call just like we saw yesterday? Could this potentially really fall into our hands once more? Who knows, with 5 to go here. With a bit of luck, Delatraz won't be a race leader for very long in this race as we try and get a good run out onto the back straightaway once more. Didn't get as particularly great a run there as I would have liked, a bit too much wheel spin on the exit, but we are still closing in on Louis Delatraz up the back straightaway to the outside of Louis. Break at the 150 metre board there, and yeah, Delatraz I just don't think has the confidence to battle with us too aggressively. Around the outside we go. It's a textbook move once more from ourselves, and we're now up into the lead once again of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix weekend. Can we go 2 for 2? I say that, Delatraz coming back at us. Has to look to the outside and towards the next braking zone, but can't quite find the momentum. Right, moment of truth time then as we head through the final couple of turns of lap 7. Are we going to see Delatraz into the pit lane? No, so I think it is just split strategies then coming out this weekend. Matsushita, I think, behind us is into the pits though, so very, very weird once again. Clearly the AI not confident on the tyre wear this weekend. You would have thought with a year of data, everyone would know it should be possible. I mean, the tyres, yeah, really not that worn, especially when you include the safety car laps. Yeah, nowhere near going to be an issue towards the end of this one. But it has now moved Aruvula up into P3. Could Delatraz absolutely carry himself in the final weekend of this championship? I can't help but feel like the cruel irony at this stage of the day is, as Matsushita has pitted, Armstrong, if he hadn't have gone for that ridiculous lunge down at turn 1, might have had a big opportunity to get close to overhauling him again at the end of the season there. I can't quite recall what the gap is at the front between those two, but Ilott sets a new fast lap of the race as well. Yeah, I think Armstrong should have been a bit more patient and maybe, just maybe, could have re-snagged P2. We've got yellow flags out. Who is going slowly? Is it Louis Delatraz in this race having issues? No, it's Jay and Aruvula out of this Grand Prix. So 2 really high runners who have had fantastic debut seasons in Formula 2 there. Drogovic and Aruvula are going to fall to the wayside in the latter stages of this race, and that must be heartbreaking for the young Indian. As is tradition then on this channel, I'm going to take you guys for the final lap in this F2 car then, and I think this season's going to be remembered for a lot of things, but certainly the biggest of them all is Mick Schumacher's consistency over the entirety of this championship, and that couldn't be summed up better than this weekend. As long as we don't do anything stupid, we are going to walk away with as close to a perfect weekend as we've been able to all year long. 2 race victories to finish off the championship shows Formula 1 just what we're made of at the moment there. I am going to run into you guys now as well. I am planning on running at least 1 season with Mick in the Haas. What I'm going to try and do is get the McLaren RTG all finished up, and then hopefully, obviously as the 2021 liveries are slowly getting revealed, we will find a mod for F1 2020 as well. So the new Mick Schumacher career mode is probably going to follow a similar format to the McLaren RTG, sorry, even that we've done over the course of the last few months. But yeah, we're going to finish that off first and wait for an F1 2021 mod, get this thing done properly. But we will be doing at least one season with Haas on F1 2020 as well there. I don't really know whether we're going to do another F2 career mode on F1 2021 when obviously the 2021 season content does drop as well. Obviously, if this is a series that you guys have loved, make sure you do leave a like, as well as obviously getting yourself subscribed, and let me know down in the comments below. Obviously, because if it is something that you guys want to see return in the future, I'm definitely down to make it a reality as well there. But let's just enjoy the final few corners then in this Prema car. We won this championship back in 2019 in pretty similar dominant display in the end. It was all about the consistency, where all the other top drivers have blundered. We, you know, sort of, I'd say really probably the best drivers have probably only had 7 or 8 good weekends. I think with the exception of Zandvoort, every weekend we have scored decent points in this championship. Rounding the final corner though, we are going to come through for back-to-back race victories here in Abu Dhabi, and we're going to take the F2 Championship by storm.
Absolutely fantastic. It's a brilliant result. Well done.
Great effort there from Prema to take the victory today. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
Wow. Well, there's no doubt that the race was impacted as soon as the safety car made an appearance. It was so important how the successful team today react to this situation. They were decisive and stuck with their strategy, which really helped them take an advantage.
It looks like it's time for the victory ceremony once again, as I can see the drivers beginning to make their way out for the celebrations. You can see it on their faces. It's another marvellous team win for Prema today. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day? So then, after today's event, Prema have claimed the team's championship. It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We'll see you when Formula 2 returns.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the F2 career mode. Done and dusted. Championship won. We've had a pretty good run of form this season, haven't we? I think it's safe to say there. But it is another race victory there. We do take fastest lap bonus points as well, obviously, because of Matt212 there on a 51.6 was outside of your top 10, or outside of your point scorers even, I should say, at the end of the day there. But again, some crazy results coming in. Giuliano Alesi from 19th to 5th at the end there. Guan Yu Zhou from last on the grid, able to pick up points there with Nikita Mazepin and Sato there, starting just in front of him, finishing just behind him. Missing out at the end there. You can see, though, Louis Delatraz gets a podium to finish off what has been an incredibly tough season for the Swiss driver there. Jack Aitken as well gets, I think that might be his second podium of this year. I feel like he might have scored one before now. And then, yeah, our teammate Schwartzman as well up in P4 after a fairly quiet second half of the World Championship there for our teammate. Matsushita and Christian Lundgaard down in P13 and P14. Marcus Armstrong down in P19 with a weekend to forget for him. And then Daruvala and Drugovic both not making it to the checkered flag there as well. Marcus Armstrong on a 2-stop strategy still was able to beat Roy Nissany, though. Says a lot, I think, at the end of the day there. But it means championship-wise, we walk away with a 118-point gap over Matsushita when all is said and done there. Armstrong, with that tough weekend, comes through for P3, a further 14 behind him there. Markelov does somehow hold on to P4. I've genuinely got no idea how he's managed that at the end of the season now. I mean, Guan Yu Zhou, I think, was like, what, 10, 6, 2 points behind him? With like 4 weekends to go. He was looking like a man on a mission. And then I think, yeah, has scored about 4 points since, what, Spa? Monza? It's, yeah, been a torrid time for for Guan Yu Zhou in the later half of this championship there. Drogovic does come through for P6 still, ahead of our teammate Robert Schwartzman in 7th place. Christian Lundgaard in 8th does beat Pedro Piquet on countback there, with Ilott jumping up into 10th place ahead of Mazepin there as well at the end of your championship. Jay Andaruvula does just beat his teammate Yuki Tsunoda for 12th place there, 86 to 83 points there, with Dan Ticktum down in 14th there ahead of Luca Giotto. With that good result, Aitken gets a jump on his teammate Guilherme Samaya, 53 to 52 there as well. Sato on 47, Alesi down in 39 points, Delatraz on 20, Sean Galeal on 6, and then Nassani on 2 there. Means constructors-wise, no movers. Once again, there it is Prema that take the top stop. 406 points there to MP Motorsport's 292. Means we weren't far off wrapping up the title by ourselves. Only 11 more points would have been required to beat MP Motorsport there single-handedly. ART in 3rd place. They're on 245. A very, very consistent season by those guys, ahead of UNI Virtuosi on 220 there. I'm sure a bit disappointed with that for them. Racelab in P5. They definitely should have had a whole lot more had Markelov not struggled in the second half of the World Championship. Carlin in 6th, then a high-tech, Charouz, Campos, Dams, and then obviously your last runners are, because I've for some reason forgot their names, yeah, Trident, obviously with there, you can see, who was it with Trident? Obviously you had Nissani and Marino Sato at the end there as well, rounding out your teams as well. But thank you all so much for watching the entirety of this championship. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and yeah, we will definitely be back very, very soon with more F1 2020 content. A big thank you to our channel members for making these videos possible. You can be featured in these end clips as well as granted access to some other exclusive perks for just £1 a month by clicking the join button below.